It's like January 6th stuff that is like so over at this point. It's so over. The left's overreaction, the left's reaction to it in some places was so over the top. There's me and two other colleagues who were there, who were outside. And we were just having fun. Dude, come on. Like, you were not in any danger.
Matthew Rosenberg is a Pulitzer Prize-winning national security correspondent for the New York Times. In multiple meetings with one of our undercover journalists, Rosenberg reveals a lot about the inner workings and inner turmoil at the Times. For starters, he doesn't hesitate to undermine his own paper's coverage of the events that took place in our nation's capital on January 6, 2021, and chides corporate media's reaction, or in his own words, overreaction.
Like, I think you could tell how much fun we had on January 6th.
Oh, that's great. Are you allowed to have that much fun on January 6th? Aren't you supposed to be mourning?
I know. So if you're traumatized. But like, all these colleagues who were in the building, a little younger, who's like, oh my God, this is so scary. I'm like, oh,
is that really the vibe there?
From them. I'm like, come on. Like, it's not the kind of place I can sit tell someone to man up, but I kind of want to. You're like, dude, come on. Like, you were not in any danger.
Got in Zola, got in Adam, Goldman, Women Sabrina, Tavernese, a bunch of photographers. Then there were people inside the Capitol.
Yeah, who was inside?
Little dweebs who keep going on about the trauma. I'm like, guys, shut the f*** enough. I guess it was scarier.
Did they write about it? Oh God, please tell me who so I can read.
I don't know if they wrote about their trauma. This chick named Emily Cochran and this guy named Nick Fandos. They were both like in their 20s.
Nick Fandos?
Fandos. They covered, Nick doesn't anymore, they covered college. So they're congressional reporters.
The story I got sucked into doing was like, I do investigative stuff. I usually do like longer term things. But I got back to work on Monday. And the managing editor had a great idea that he could have had a month ago, which was like, me and a colleague had done like a very long 7,000 word story last year in February about like kind of the big lie about the Stop the Steal campaign, which was a very organized campaign. It wasn't like an organic thing. He's like, can we do like part 2 of that, like what's going on in the years from January 6th, kind of like memory holing it, like it's no big deal. Yeah, we can do that. It's a little quick turnaround. So we've been doing the last few days. That's the story. But it's in a meeting. I'm like, one of the issues here is that, like on the Fox News of the world and elsewhere, is that the left's reaction to it in some places was so over the top that it gave the opening the right media to start introducing the idea of, well, these people are out of control. Like, it's not a big deal as they're making it. Because they were making it too big a deal. They were making this an organized thing that it wasn't. And that gave the opening for the lunatics on the right to be like, oh, well, nothing happened here. It was just a peaceful bunch of tourists, And it's like, but nobody wants to hear that.
Not as big of a deal as the media made it out to be? Well, that hasn't stopped Rosenberg from publishing his Part 2 article earlier this year describing the false narratives that circulate around January 6th in the events that unfolded.
We're the ones, not Fox, not Breitbart, who actually went and uncovered the fact that, there were a ton of FBI informants on the people who attacked the Capitol. That was us, not the right-wing guys. You need the sources from within to dig into those places. You need the sources from within to dig into those places. But it's especially over the CIA, NSA, because if you work there, you get polygraphed every year, and you're asked if you spoke to a reporter. If your answer is everything but no, you're in deep trouble. You're often talking to former people who are talking to people who are still there.
Got it. Okay, say that again.
You're also talking to people who are recently left, who are still talking to people on the inside. So the people on the inside cannot talk to.
Well, when you talk to people who got arrested, their families? Or their neighbors?
There's just neighbors and stuff. Families usually don't want to talk for good reason.
Have you guys talked to anybody who's actually been arrested?
Yeah, although most of them and their lawyers have told them not to talk to us. If you're facing serious criminal charges, you probably laughing you should just talk to a journalist. Unless there's a very specific reason that you need, that some good can come of it, there's no way you should talk to me. No good's going to come of it.
Why not?
Because anything you say can end up in court, and you just don't want to be at risk. I wouldn't know.
Rosenberg is right. What good can come from speaking to a journalist who privately describes the events on January 6th as not a big deal, yet spins something entirely different for the world to read in his newspaper? Project Veritas has received letters from those incarcerated for being present that day. Voices that remain unheard describe a total lack of due process, spurred by the reactions, or in Rosenberg's words, overreaction of how those events were portrayed around the world by the media and politicians. Stay tuned for part 2 of the series as Rosenberg continues to delve deeper into the turmoil and inner workings at the New York Times, including a serious admission about the infamous Trump P-tapes. You definitely won't want to miss that.